Hey there, my name is Andre, and today I'm going to show you just how easy it is to set up a VPN using Border0. We'll make available a remote private network inside an AWS VPC, and we're going to set up an exit node too. You'll find that it's super easy. Both of these steps can be done in under a minute each. Just a couple of clicks and you're securely connected to your private network or browsing the internet through your new exit node. So let's dive in. So here's the basic setup. I have an AWS VPC 10.0.0/16, and inside that VPC there are two private subnets, each running a few EC2 instances. Now remember, these are private subnets, meaning there is no inbound network connectivity from the internet. They can only make outbound network connections through an AWS NAT gateway, but nothing comes in unless we explicitly make that happen. So to securely access these resources, I will install the Border0 connector inside one of those private subnets, and think of these as a smart VPN gateway. It's kind of like a VPN server, but way easier to work with than what you're probably used to. So this connector lives inside your private infrastructure, whether that's your AWS environment like this example, or your basement server rack, or even a Raspberry Pi at home. Installing the connector is super easy. I head to the Border0 portal, create a new connector, and from there I will select the Linux option. That will generate a command that I can just copy and paste into the terminal on the target machine. And that's it. Within a few seconds, the connector phones home, registers itself, and shows up in the Border0 portal as live and ready to go. Up and running in seconds. Honestly, it still surprises me how easy that is. No messing with firewall rules or IP whitelisting, no VPN config nightmares. Just copy paste and you're good to go. Now let's make our private VPC reachable. In the Border0 portal, I will create a new socket of type subnet router. And this is how we tell Border0, hey, when someone connects to the VPN, push these routes to the client. Basically, it's like the typical split VPN setup. Okay, so first we'll give it a name. I'll name it Private VPC US East 1. And then we need to provide the CIDR network ranges of the subnets that we want to make available. In our case, we'll use 10.0.1.0/24 and 10.0.2.0/24. So remember, these were the two private subnets of our private VPC. So next we make sure that we assign these resources to the connector that we just installed. And finally we hit create new socket and we're done. So Border0 will now route traffic from authorized VPN clients to these two private subnets. Now back to my laptop, which has the Border0 client installed, the two routes would have been pushed to my device instantly. So if we go ahead and validate that, so first we'll check if the route exists with route get. And as you can see here, we have route entries for that pointing to my VPN adapter called UTUN9. Next up, let's test if there's indeed network connectivity. And I'll do that by pinging one of the EC2 instances, in this case 10.0.2.207. And boom, as you can see, it replies, so that works as expected. Let's see if we can also SSH to that machine, and yeah, that seems to work as well. So now we got secure access into a private network with zero VPN configuration. You know, it's super simple to set up, no tunnel definitions, no certificates, you just connect and it's there. Now the cool part is we can also see exactly who is accessing these remote VPN networks. So if I go to the Sessions tab here, you can now see a new session and it shows me exactly which single sign-on user from which device, which IP and country at what time accessed this network, including some traffic statistics for this resource. So not only is it easy to configure and use, it also gives us lots of insights into who's using it and how much traffic is going to each private network. Now let's take it one step further and set up an exit node. This lets us route all of our internet traffic through the connector and come out from a predictable IP address. So why is this useful? Well, maybe you're accessing a vendor service that only allows connections from a specific static IP address, or you want to make outbound connections look like they're coming from your home IP address, or perhaps an IP address in a specific country, so you have access to geo-restricted resources, great for watching US Netflix, so whatever the case may be, it's really easy to set up. So to do this, I'll create another socket, but this time I select exit node. So it's the same flow, I just give it a name, I assign it to the connector that we just created, and then we hit create new socket. And that's it. Now you've created an exit node. You can see how it conveniently shows the egress IP of this exit node. It gets that because it knows the egress IP of the connector that it's linked to. So now next up, we can open the Border0 client application, and under exit node, we can see now our newly created exit node. So let's click on that, and so we can start using it. So this will update the routing table in real time on my machine so that now all of my traffic goes through the VPN tunnel. So let's go ahead and validate that. We'll go to ipinfo.io and I'll check my public IP address. And as you can see, it now matches the egress IP of my connector, which is the NAT gateway IP essentially. So it's an Amazon IP address. So perfect. I'm now browsing the internet as if I'm sitting within that AWS VPC. All encrypted, all policy controlled, and again, no complex setup. It was just a few clicks. Similar as before, we have that same session log capability showing us exactly who used this exit node, when, and from where. Now, one thing we haven't really touched on yet, but it's super important, are policies. Policies in Border0 control who gets access to what. So whether that's a VPN target or a database or any other type of resource supported by Border0, they are all protected by policy. So here's an example of a policy I created called AWS VPN access. And if we look at it, you'll see two types of identities in there. Either the user directly, like myself, Andre, as well as the group SRE. So this means that anyone in the SRE group or any individual specifically mentioned in the policy get access to these VPN resources. You can view the policy in a visual editor or switch to the JSON view if you prefer that view. There's really a lot of things that you can do with the policy. For example, time-based access, IP-based, or geo-restrictions. It can all go into that same policy. So if I go to the access graph here now, you can see that this AWS VPN access policy provides access to the exit node and the subnet router that we set up earlier. Now let's talk about how these policies actually affect access in real time. I have a ping running from my laptop to that same EC2 instance in that private subnet, just like we did earlier. Now watch this. If I go into the policy and remove myself, both directly and via the SRE group, the moment I hit save, the ping will start to fail instantly. And that is because I no longer match the policy, so access is revoked and routes are withdrawn. No more access. So this is all in real time. Identity-aware control, no more need to wait for configuration reloads or session timeouts. Now if I go back and add myself again, both maybe again as the user as well as the group SRE. And once I save the policy, boom, the ping resumes immediately and that policy enforcement is dynamically applied on the fly. So this gives you a huge amount of flexibility and security. You define the rules either through the API, the portal, the CLI, Terraform, and Border0 handles this enforcement in real time for you. So let's recap what we just did. We installed the Border0 connector in under a minute. We then made two private subnets available as VPN routes, and we accessed some of these EC2 instances in there, also in under a minute. Lastly, we routed all of our internet traffic through the connector by configuring an exit node, and this also took us less than a minute. So all of this without touching any security groups, firewall rules, or other types of VPN configuration that you might have expected. And we didn't just get access, we got zero trust identity-aware access that logs and enforces policies all in real time. So that's what makes Border0 special. It's a VPN reimagined using modern day technology and making it super easy to use. So whether you're a DevOps engineer, a security lead, or just a home lab nerd, you get secure network access literally in minutes. Thank you for watching. I hope this helped or inspired you. Give it a thumbs up, or if you have any questions, let me know below. I love geeking out about this stuff. Catch you in the next one.